All right, good morning, everybody. I'm going to try to walk you through what we can expect here over the next 36 hours. Because for some of us, it could be a busy 36 hours. For some of us, it might be a few rumbles of thunder, some heavy rain, and that's it. So we try to put context with everything we talk about here. So let's discuss what we are going to see here over the next several hours. Let's first go now until 1 o'clock today. So hopefully you can see this. I'm going to talk over it, so hopefully this helps as well. We are looking at the potential from now essentially through 1 o'clock in all of central Alabama for a round of thunderstorms, gusty winds, hail, perhaps tornadoes. There's been nothing tornadic over several hours here in central Alabama or northern Alabama. There has been heavy rain and thunderstorms. We may see some intensification here as we head through the middle of the morning as the sun comes up. Number two, 1 o'clock till 7 o'clock tonight. This could be a period that is very quiet and misleadingly quiet and sunny. The sun comes out, we re-destabilize the atmosphere, and we could be looking at a situation where the atmosphere gets re-energized. That could bring about a second wave of some bad weather. So we're going to be keeping an eye out on that. So that particular detail is going to lead to a conditional threat of severe weather that would come overnight tonight. So then we'd be looking at the potential for gusty winds, hail, and maybe a tornado threat from 10 p.m. Thursday to 6 o'clock on Friday morning. Again, that is a conditional threat that is very much going to have to do with what happens here today. When we talk about what happens today, do we see a lot of rain this morning? Do we have some strong storms that work over the atmosphere? Keep in mind, these storms have to feed off of this energy that's in place. If enough of it is exhausted, we might not get this second round, but we're going to go with the idea that we see this second round of strong thunderstorms. And then my favorite headline, because we got to put something positive in there, is 6 a.m. Friday onward to Friday afternoon. We will have clearing skies, a frontal passage, winds out of the northwest, lower humidity, and that's going to tee things up nicely for our Mother's Day weekend. So let's dive more into each of this here, give you a look at what's happening right now. And I want to start with our tornado watch. This has been gradually expanded throughout the morning here. And I'm also going to try to keep up with y'all's comments if you have any on the Facebook live stream and you have any questions. I'll try to answer those as we go through here as well. So easier to say who's not in this tornado watch than is. This goes until 10 o'clock this morning, and omitted from it is Tallapoosa, Coosa, Chilton, Bibb, Green Hail, Sumter, Marengo, Perry counties. So basically, once you get south of a line from Tuscaloosa, Calera, Sylacauga, you are not in the tornado watch. Something else to just reiterate here, a watch means that over the next several hours, up until 10 o'clock, we have the potential to see strong storms. It's not imminent. We have no warnings right now. The time is 7:38, and there are no tornado warnings here. So with that, we'll segue over to our radar. And as we look here at what's happening coming out of Mississippi, so this is looking at the Columbus radar. This is going to be the line that we watch. And I mean, man, look at these returns here. I mean, Smith Lake just getting absolutely hammered by heavy rain, 260 strikes, lightning strikes that is, in the last 10 minutes. I mean, that's just a tremendous amount of rain and lightning, but it's not severe. I just dove into, I got radar scopes, so I was just looking at the winds within this system, 35, maybe up to 40 miles an hour. And that's, criteria for a strong storm, a special weather advisory of that nature, but it's below severe limits here. But this is going to be coming into places just to the north of Jasper, into Cullman, into Warrior, Graysville, Trussville, Springville, Pell City over the next couple of hours on this trajectory. So this is kind of what we're looking at here over the next several hours is more storms like these developing. Let's go a little bit further to the south here. Now we have a look at basically all of central Alabama. And we'll have to keep an eye out for storms like this too, or individual clusters like this. What we're seeing down here, now this is to the south of us. This is down south of Coosa County here. This is coming up to Lake Martin. These individual cells have a better tendency to actually spin when they're on their own. So I'm actually going to go over to our radar analysis here and just take a closer look at this one, because these are what we call discrete cells. And when we talk about discrete, it means by itself or alone standing. And these ones typically aren't impacted by the environment of other storms, and these can sometimes intensify. Now, if I switch over to a better radar view here, you can see we don't really have a problem with this particular cell. In fact, we go over to our velocity. There's no rotation within this at all. This is simply just another thunderstorm. Granted, it's an intensifying thunderstorm with 142 strikes just in that frame there. So we're going to be watching stuff like this as we go throughout the morning. I want to go now to our future view. Okay, so what is next? There's a conditional severe threat, right? So what the heck does that mean? Let's walk you through that. So this is how the radar could look over the next several hours. I'm going to pause this at 10 o'clock. This model showing a lot of rain storms stretching from Cullman to Center, Center to Gadsden, Anniston south to Alexander City. Each and every one of these would have the potential for gusty winds, some hail, possibly a tornado. Granted, the tornado threat seems pretty low. I've not seen anything here that makes me think, okay, there's a widespread tornado threat. That could change. We've got the sun coming up and we have an unstable atmospheric profile. That could change pretty quickly, but at least as of now, it's not necessarily a widespread tornado threat here in the short term. We go past, let's say, 10 o'clock this morning to about 1 o'clock. Now this first severe threat is departing central Alabama. So what does this mean for us? Well, if you live, say, in Anniston, Ashland, Alexander City, Auburn, the eastern side of the state, now we're looking at rain tapering off closer to 1, maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then, if this comes to fruition, this is not good. Sun comes out, the air destabilizes, you get that rising motion back in the atmosphere, and this might lead to just enough energy to give us a second round of strong thunderstorms. So I'm going to zoom out now. We'll have a cold front that'll be just to the north of us here, and this will act as a lifting mechanism. But if this cold front can tap into some other energy that's been reestablished thanks to daytime heating, this could lead to an evening severe threat. This would carry with it that tornado threat, as well as a hail and damaging wind threat overnight tonight. As long as this front is in place, if there's energy to be had or to be interacted with, this could lead to a second round. Say we have more rain than I'm anticipating here this morning and into the afternoon, though. We may not have enough to overcome that stability from daytime rainfall. Again, if the sun doesn't come out, that could be a huge help for limiting things later on today. This is now at 3 o'clock on Friday morning. Again, showing maybe the strongest storms down to the south, areas like Flomaton, down near Evergreen, 65 south as you head towards southwest Alabama. That line tracking towards the Wiregrass, Enterprise, it looks like Daleville, Dothan, eventually parts of southwestern Georgia. So as this front clears, this is now 6 o'clock on Friday, we would see things improving greatly here as we move forward. So we've got another, I guess now the time is 7:42, so about 24 hours, and then we're done with this nonsense. And you know what we can say? Not only do we have to remember, to give thanks to Mom, but that we're going to have a really nice Mother's Day weekend forecast. So here's what I've got. Outdoor, I've got it as so-so on Friday, but then Saturday and Sunday look absolutely great. I want to touch one more time on the potential threats here as we go through the morning. This is through 1 o'clock today. I can't rule out a tornado threat, but I've not seen anything at this point that shows a concrete tornado threat. All right, that's for anywhere in central Alabama. We just don't have that atmospheric profile right now. Hail, wind, and I'm talking for all of central Alabama. So if you live in Birmingham, Gardendale, as I've just seen, it looks like that threat's a little bit closer to 10 a.m., but the threats are the same across the board. Again, I think this is a wind and hail threat. Right now there are no warnings, but this will be moving through here later on this morning. I'll go to another timing graphic here, but the fast-moving nature of this as well is probably going to keep flooding from being a major issue. We also didn't have rain yesterday, so that helps out on that front. This is how I've got things timed out for us. I'm going to overlay this with current radar. So until 8 o'clock if you're north of Birmingham. And you know what, that might be allowed to extend later as well. We're essentially waiting for this line right here, this cluster to move through and clear, because everything behind that is just rain. It's nothing severe. Here in the middle of the morning is going to be the middle of central Alabama. Aliceville, Pickensville, Tuscaloosa, Northport, Vance, McCalla, Alabaster, Birmingham, Calera, Pelham, Hoover, Sylacauga, Talladega, Moody, Leeds, Alexander City, Asheville, Lineville, Heflin, all for the meat of the morning, so 7 to 10, and then areas further to the south, 9 o'clock onwards till about 1. So we're going to be watching this very carefully over the next several hours. Again, suffice it to say, we could have an active morning. We may go through the morning and we not have a single warning. That is how bizarre this setup is. Right now, the atmosphere is destabilizing because the sun is up. There are no warnings as of now. It is currently 7:44, and we've got no warnings out there in central Alabama. So I'm going to wrap this up here. I've seen some of your questions here. I'll go and look here, but essentially what we're looking at is over the next several hours, just be weather aware. We could have some strong thunderstorms. We might just have a thunderstorm with some heavy rain passing by. That could be the nature of what we see today. The potential, though, is there for these to gradually intensify. Again, as of now, there's nothing severe out there. That doesn't mean there won't be as we go through the next couple of hours. So I'll go ahead and sign off now. We will come back as needed. We have cut-ins live on ABC 3340 in between Good Morning America. If you guys want to tune in, I'll have an update coming up with meteorologist Chris Pitchford here. That'll be at 7:56, so we're going to do a little dancing around the radar. We'll take a look at what's happening across central Alabama. We'll have another look at that future view, and of course, your 7-day forecast. So we'll be here all morning as needed. We got meteorologist Riley Blackwell, meteorologist James Spann watching this as well. So we got you covered from start to finish. And I hope everybody has a great day. We'll keep you posted moving forward. All right.